Friday the 19th of July. So lots going on actually. Apparently we're going to be getting some storms tomorrow, some rain tonight about 7 o'clock. We did indeed have some rain earlier on, so hopefully some good opportunities to be filling up water butts and get the gardens and allotments watered without actually having to do it by hand. So there we go. So I thought we could go around and have a little look about what's going on here because excitement is happening. Ooh. Okay, now, so this here, you can see, you may remember I started this new vegetable bed. So this is last Sunday I started it after the sort of failure with the melons. So you know they've put their roots down and I've been watering them as well, and the water earlier would have helped. So you know, expecting some Swiss chard there to take well, and the same with the rocket there. This looks like spinach actually there, and the beetroot. Look, there you go. So they shouldn't be too long before they start looking more substantial, more actually like crops. So there we go. Okay, so the pears are looking good. Variety Concord. Quite happy actually how they're coming on. They're looking sort of quite ornamental as well. We've got a little bit of russeting occurring here, but that happens, no big deal there. But we're carrying about 20 fruits on this tree here. Sometimes it carries more, sometimes it carries less. Last year it didn't carry that many fruit, but they were a good size. Generally in one way, the less fruit the tree is carrying, maybe the bigger the fruit will be. And they were beautiful sweet last year. Maybe that was helped by the fact that we had that long hot summer, but we'll see how they are this year. But this is a lovely tree, not particularly large, and crops very reliably, year after year really. So I'm very much happy about it. It's putting up the suckers at the bottom there from their rootstock. Most pear trees are grafted onto quince rootstocks, by the way, but that's a subject for another video. So I'll show you this here. Now, you may remember when I purchased this grapevine, I think it was 18 months ago, something like that. It wasn't a particularly great specimen, and it's variety Lakemont seedless, and it looked sort of a bit weedy and not so good, and part of it died back, but it's actually recovered very well and starting to look quite, relatively impressive, compared to how it indeed did. So looking pretty nice, and I'm expecting a crop off of this next year. I got it from Ken Muir, and Ken Muir is a very good company. It's an Essex company, and as you know, I like to support local business if indeed I can. So yeah, Lakemont seedless fine there. Should have some crop on it next year. Okay, so looking at the squashes here. So this is Volskaya something or other, but we're starting to get a very, look at that. Look, that squash is coming into a good size now. That's going to stay there. We'll see how it does. I'm expecting it to do very well indeed. And here, this is variety Queensland Blue, and we are indeed carrying yellow squashes on Queensland Blue, but they will probably change colour. But that's looking pretty nice, isn't it? Indeed, there. This was a large flower. I mean, you can see the size of it, and it was out the other day, just in there. Look, but quite happy really. And I'll just show you up into the kale there. We're gonna put that back. Been harvesting kale, and been eating some of that. Very nice actually, very nice. I think that's variety Vates Blue Curled. So there we go. Keep it covered up, peeps, to protect it from the potential cabbage white butterfly. Now, okay, this one here is Victor Winter Squash, okay, and we're carrying a crop here. Where are we? There you go. Look at that. Looking pretty good. Nowhere near. The squashes are nowhere near the size they are going to be. These ones, anyway. Nice and shiny. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So that's Victor. And now this one here. This is just. These squashes I'm really loving at the moment. Now these are Benning's Green Tint Patty Pan Squash, okay? Now very, very intriguing, and they actually weigh quite a lot for a small squash. And I had one of these, or a couple of these, however many, I can't remember now exactly, one I think, yes, for dinner the other night. And you can do all sorts of these, there's loads of dishes if you're a cook. I'm not, but very nice indeed, and lovely history for these. Apparently these sort of squashes were eaten by the Native Americans, and there's European history of these dated back to the years around the 1600s. My history is not particularly amazing in these regards, but check them out. And apparently introduced to the UK or something around the 1900s, something like that. And you pick them when they're relatively small, like 2 to 4 inches across. More to come. There, look, and they're just, you know, very tasty and a curiosity at the same time, which I think's brilliant. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to show you this, the fig. Okay, I am going to sort this out, I promise. I'm just waiting for a bigger pot. I want it to go in a bigger pot. I'm going to start to... I know that figs do like a bit of root restriction, so they don't grow massive amounts of foliage, and they concentrate more on producing fruit. But, you know, you can have too much of a good thing as a hollyhock growing in there. But I'm going to be getting a bigger pot. I'm just waiting for the right time to do so. I'm going to repot it and give this fig some love. And I've actually got a fig on it, so there we go. So hopefully it's coming into production now. So very nice indeed. Lovely fig. Looks, you know, nice coloured leaves, but it just needs some TLC. So I'm going to be looking into that. And I purchased this a few years ago now from a... I think it was one of the bargain shops, and you know, it was about so big, and now it's, you know, looks quite good, don't it? So I'll just show you that fig again. Probably won't come to anything, but at least I know that the tree is into fruiting age. Okay, so the rose that I you know, was given, actually, someone wanted me to dig it up to get rid of it, but I said, can I have it? And they said yes. So amazing. And deadheaded it, you know, had a great flourish of flowers. If you check out some videos from, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago, you'll see the lovely flowers on there. But I deadheaded them, and now they're starting to come again. There we go, and this one. And I'm quite happy, actually. You know, a rose acquired for free, and managed to save it as well. It's doing pretty well in this pot, to be honest. And the flowers are slightly fragrant as well, which is always a bonus. Right, so here we go. Now the wallflower, it's finished this flourish of flowers, and you can actually now cut the flowers back. Okay, so cut it back to about there, and hopefully it will come again. So that's probably going to be a job for this weekend. This is Mauve's, I can't remember the name of it now. Hardy wallflower, Bowles Mauve. There we go, Bowles Mauve, yeah. Okay, so the neighbours are now shouting their mouths off, but this happens. Okay, now, broad beans, there you go, looking pretty cool in those regards. Okay, so the squash is growing down here. This one's a patty pan squash, and there you go, there's one there, look. You can let that get a little bit bigger. This one here is one of which I have forgotten the name. So there we go, but it's a trailing squash, and it's going all the way up here, so I'm just letting this one go all over the show. I'm not particularly worried about it. You can do what it wants in this corner here, because it's actually hiding the weeds, so I can do the weeding at a later date. So quite happy to let that go. Not sure what variety it is, as I stated, but I'll find out when you know, some of these start going into sort of cropping mode. Okay, so I've got this shelving at the bottom here, and this is going to be part of, you know, the next project that I spoke about briefly, I think, in the Real Seeds video I put up, whenever I put it up, earlier this morning or last night, whenever it was. And what I'm going to have is there's 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves there, and I'm going to have containers, a container on each shelf, and I'm going to have varieties of carrots growing there. So I think that's going to be good use of space, and I might consider some lettuce, but winter lettuce, but probably at this time we'll be sticking to the carrots, I would imagine. So I had a good feed actually of runner beans the other day, and you can see got some more that are starting to come, so quite happy about how they are, you know, turning out this year. And the runner beans here look starting to sort of achieve a fairly decent size as well, helped very much you know, by the rain that we had earlier. Well, indeed it will help them, and the rain tomorrow as well, so that will be good. And the rain today, whenever it will come, will be very, very good indeed and useful. So in the rustic part of the garden down here, my grapevine cuttings are, some have got through. I wonder how they've got through. It's got a root on it, Autumn Royal, that one. That's good. Put that back. So we'll find out how they do. Grapevine cuttings I've took, and of course the usual sort of craziness in the polytunnel going on. So yeah, so gonna get on the old computer later on and probably order some heritage carrot seeds. So there we go, that's the next up and coming project. So hope everybody out there's doing well, stay safe during the storms, etc. And if you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. See you next time.